Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of What's Happening in Travel. I'm here with my buddy,
Oh,
and I am Kerwin, and this is episode 84. Um, and we're recording this on Tuesday, July 13th. Jesus, already almost a half of the month is gone, right?
yep.
Um,
The year is gone.
yes, that's true. Yeah, it seemed like only yesterday was you know, January, but it's good. Travel is picking up. Yeah, thanks to a lot of people getting vaccinated. Although the interesting thing is that travel in the U.S. is picking up. Travel
Mm-hmm.
all over the world is not picking up because a lot of people don't have vaccinations. So whenever you travel, just remember that you should actually check how vaccinated the places that you're going are, and don't let your guard down. Keep your stuff going. All right, Krisha, what's your background today?
I have a National Airlines DC-10. I remember seeing the ads in newspapers for this airline, and I always liked their logo, the little sun, the smiling sun.
With a face on it.
Yeah.
That's
So
actually that's a clever logo because for those of us who are listening on the podcast and the audio, it's a sun and it's yellow and red, but the red part of it is like about half the entire logo, and it's a face. So I
yeah,
don't know. I don't know what the significance of that was.
if you remember,
Say
I
again.
think they had very cheeky ads. Like the planes were named after women. I think like
Ah.
I'm Debbie, fly me. It was plastered on the side of the aircraft.
I've
So
never. I guess a U.S. base because that's a
out
register.
of Miami, I believe. Yeah, I
Oh,
never flew them. Out of Florida.
oh, okay. I never flew them
No,
either.
I
Jeez.
think well before my time.
Ah, uh, one thing I wanted to do was to kind of create a timeline of the U.S. airlines.
There have
Uh,
been so many.
there have been so many, and they
So,
kind of get gobbled up into each
yep.
other.
And they disappear.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Which is interesting because this is why the industry is the way it is, where you find that like people live in Hawaii and they work for Delta and they're based in Salt Lake City, and then they have to commute. I actually
yeah.
had one of my friends, friend of a friend. He's based in Paris.
Huh.
Well, he lives in Paris, but
Huh.
he's based in Newark.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, so he has to commute over
That's pretty
for his trip.
remarkable.
I know, it's crazy. An interesting thing is because he speaks French,
Okay.
He'll get a Paris trip. So he has to come to Newark and pick up the trip, go to Paris, come back to Newark because he had to complete the trip, and then commute back home to Paris.
So, right? Because the airline doesn't pay for the commute, right?
No, but he
You
just
do.
non-rows. He just non-rows over. And
Okay.
I guess it's worth it because he gets to do what he likes to do anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So,
so he's probably really happy when he has to deadhead. And for those who don't know what deadhead it is where the airline pays for the crew to fly from one place to the next because their journey starts in the next place, and it's no fault of the crew um, that they need to do this. So let's say they have a flight in Paris and they don't have any crew, but the crew is in New York. They will take the crew from New York and they will fly them to Paris um, at the airline's expense, i.e., they take a seat out of inventory, and then when the crew gets to Paris, they overnight because they have to get rest, and then they fly their next flight back. All right. And I have a Korean Air, I think it's an A330, and this is in Fiji. Um,
oh, it is in
yeah,
Fiji.
it's Fiji. Oh, you weren't on this trip, but I was, myself and another colleague. We had flown from Incheon in
Huh.
South Korea to Fiji on this Korean Air A330.
I never would have imagined they have these sort of high mountains-ish hills,
Yeah,
mountains in Fiji.
yeah, this was 90. And it was it was 25 degrees Fahrenheit in um in Fi-
So
in Seoul, and
and
then we get to
probably
Fiji.
125.
Right, 125. It's like, whoa. So yeah, and I forgot how long the flight is. But and it was snowing, and we left even though it was snowing. They were cleaning the ramp at the same time. Because it's South Korea, so this is our operation. You can't wait for it to stop snowing because it won't. So they just cleaned the ramp as we were pushing out, and the runways are constantly being cleaned, and we were out of there while it was snowing. It was quite fun.
Actually, again, we're getting sidetracked. Did you ever see the show? I forget it, but maybe I think it was on the Smithsonian TV channel about Anchorage Airport, Ted Stevens, the
No,
airport, and how they made it run during, on an average day. And they described the snow removal and the ice removal procedures they follow. It's really so incredible.
yeah, that's
Taken for granted. No one gives a damn about it, but the work that's involved is just incredible.
yeah. I
So,
hear you because I was in Anchorage on. I normally go for the
huh.
solstices, which is the summer and the winter. I didn't go anywhere in 2020, and I didn't do the one this year either. But when you go in the wintertime, it is cold, Kusha. Like
Mm.
it is so cold that your lips are cold. You can't really speak much. And they have there is right next to the airport is a seaplane base,
Yeah,
and that seaplane base is frozen over.
yeah.
Like you could literally walk across from one side over to the airport and vice
Actually,
versa.
they talked about that.
Oh, did they? Yeah, because it's frozen. There's nothing.
It's a huge logistics hub
Uh-huh.
to deliver supplies to other remoter parts of Alaska.
Exactly.
So, and they have to deal with bears and all sorts of animals that wander onto the runway and all that.
I know it's pretty amazing because when you look out there, you're like, okay, I was just out there for because I walked from my hotel to the seaplane base
Huh.
because it was like so it's like a 10-minute walk, if that much. But 10 minutes when the pine trees have icicles on them and the icicles are frozen icicles, like you touch them, you barely touch them, and they just like ping and snap. And there's snow on the ground, and
Wind.
everywhere where there used to be airplanes is snow or ice. And yeah, and that big sign, don't step on the ice, don't step on the ice everywhere. I should share the pictures somewhere. I think I have them. But yeah, I so which channel was that on?
I think it was Smithsonian. They
Oh,
do
okay.
have repeats on.
Yeah, if
But
you ever
if you
find
do a
that,
search, Ted Stevens, what was it, Anchorage? If you just search for Ted Stevens or Anchorage,
it should show up.
you'll find it. Well, I'll try. Let me see.
Yeah, I'll try to do a search after. But no, it's I absolutely enjoy it. The thing about aviation for me is how we can leave South Korea in 25-degree weather and the plane works, and we fly for I don't know how long it was, maybe 4 hours or something, and then we get to Fiji. Oh,
Much
what's
longer.
that?
Yeah,
Much
but it's
longer,
probably
right?
7, 8, 9 hours.
Is that how long it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's over here. We're in the Pacific. Yeah, yeah. Um, and we get there and we get off the plane and it's fine. And then the plane gets service and it flies back again. Yeah, two, not to mention the difference in temperature in the air. So that's to me. Sorry?
And the culture is completely different.
Yeah, Yeah, it's and everybody's like really freezing in Korea and like, oh, I want to go to a warm place, and they go to Fiji and that happens, and they come back a week later.
So,
So that was fun. And then after we left there, we went to Brisbane,
okay.
and I think we went to Sydney, and then we flew back from Sydney. Um, when you think about what we used to do in travel, and you can't do it anymore.
Yep.
I mean, you can, but it's just so restricted now, right? You gotta go, do I need a COVID test? How long have I been here? Do I have to quarantine? Should I wear a mask? Should I not wear a mask? Ugh. All right. So, our first story today is the industry is always so interesting because when things go bad, like they are now because of COVID, airlines tend to spend money investing in the product. And it's weird because it's a toss up, right? You have to decide, do I invest in the product? Do I invest in the planes? What do I do? Do I take the great deals? But where does the money come from? So I say that because United Airlines made a big announcement that they're buying a whole bunch of planes. So what's the deal, Kusha?
This was rumored for several weeks, actually. That United was about to make an announcement and they were going to do so imminently. Well, last week they finally did. And um, this was their largest order ever for 270 narrow body aircraft, um, 50 of which were the MAX 8, the 737 MAX 8. And I was always curious about why United invested so heavily in the MAX 9 before it did the MAX 8. But there's a reason for that, and I'll get to it shortly.
Mm-hmm.
Then they ordered another 150 of the MAX 10, which is the largest 737 MAX variant. And not surprisingly, 70 321 Neos from Airbus. These are to replace the 757-200, which United has a lot of, since Boeing seems to be dragging its feet on developing a competitor for, but it's not as simple as that. But so anyway, these aircraft will start arriving completely. I mean, all these aircraft will be delivered by 2026. And in 2023, on average, United will be getting a new aircraft every 3 days. So that's over 100 planes.
That's crazy. Every 3 days?
Yes, yes,
Are
on
they
average.
are they even prepared to accept an airplane every 3 days? Where are they gonna put
That's
them?
well, there's a whole lot of other situations going on behind the scenes. So this is part of a program called United Next for its post-pandemic development.
Original.
So
Because there's a Metro Next. We're in Houston, and that Metro Next is the next version of Metro, and Metro is a service that provides buses to the Houston area. Sorry, carry on.
United has lagged in their domestic service, and compared to Delta and American and perhaps Southwest. So what they aim to do is catch up. So with these new aircraft, the 50-seat regional planes are going to be replaced with larger planes. On average, once all these aircraft are delivered, United will average 30% more seats per domestic departure, which is really quite large. And what is even more amazing is that there will be 75% more premium seats. And by premium, they mean economy plus and first class. Um, on average, United will have 53 premium seats per flight once all these planes are delivered. So you asked, where will they store these? Doesn't really answer the question completely, but 200 of the older 50-seat regional jets are going to be retired. But the 50-seat RJ operation is not disappearing. They
Or they
will
can't,
still keep them. Yeah,
because
the
a lot of the
smaller.
Texas cities need them.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So,
Remember they tried that before, but it didn't work because
yes, they
they
did.
got rid of a bunch of them, and they're like, well, what happened to like Tyler and Victoria?
Of these planes are destined for growth in um, the United schedule, which
Mhm.
is actually pretty huge. Another part of the initiative that was announced is that United plans to have in-flight entertainment screens on all domestic mainline flights by 2025.
All right, Kushal. So pause a sec. When I saw this piece, I was like, really? Didn't you just spend a whole bunch of money putting in all these, taking them out, matter of fact, and go, oh, everybody's gonna use their computers, they're gonna use their little devices. I'm like, no, they won't. And I love the fact that Delta was like, nope, we're putting screens in
Yep,
airplanes.
and
And
that
so
was
now they
part
have
of.
to match, right?
Yeah. Actually, I'm happy about it.
Oh, me too. It was stupid. Who wants to watch something on this little screen? Plus, it's not only millennials that are flying. Older people, us, we can't see this. Sorry, I digress. Carry on.
So, United CEO Scott Kirby published the result. Well, he talked about the results of a survey that they did, and they found that 60% of passengers, on average, engaged with IFE, the in-flight entertainment screens on flights on existing aircraft, which was
Especially,
actually
yes, well,
pretty.
especially since you're taking out the magazines from the planes, and it's like, you know what, Krisha, it's so fun with a lot of these things. I'm sorry, I'm jumping in here, but um, you don't need to survey people to tell you this. You just have to sit on the plane and watch. You don't have to survey people. We know
Well, I
this.
guess that's what they did.
Or just ask. But the problem with these companies, and United is no exception, is you just froze. The problem with these companies is that they always want to pay these companies to do these surveys, and they don't listen to their own employees. Heck, the
But
flight attendant can
we
tell.
don't know if they did that though.
Well, it
I
said
don't
they
know.
do. It said they did a survey. Well, it's not just United, right? This happens all the time across the board, where you need to listen to your employees. You don't need anyone to tell them what the survey told them. But anyway, carry on.
Yeah.
I'm digressing.
Um, these aircraft are also going to have new interiors with new lighting and everything. And I didn't realize aircraft bins, the luggage bins in the cabin, are going to get even larger. So they are going to be able to accommodate every passenger's carry-on bag. So it's going to be a one-to-one match between a carry-on bag and a passenger on board the aircraft.
What a concept.
um, so you had mentioned how are they going to fly these planes? Well, they're expecting to have 25,000 job openings at all the between all the United hubs. And these are going to be pilots, flight attendants, dispatchers, maintenance technicians, and an additional result of these new planes coming in is that the emissions by 2026 are going to be down by 15% compared to what they are currently. That's
Hmm.
a big driver in getting rid of the older, less fuel efficient aircraft and bringing in more modern planes.
So, which are
So
these older not fuel efficient planes they
the
get?
RJs and the 757s, the older 737s. So,
So,
and
what?
you know what they didn't say is what are they going to do with the current 320s and the 319s?
Right
Because the
there.
321 does not replace those. So are they going to transition to an all 737 MAX narrow body fleet or stay tuned to find out?
Are the A350s coming back?
Oh, that order is still languishing.
Okay.
Remember they ordered this like 10 years ago or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, they were in the books, and
Yep.
they're like, yeah, we don't
They're
want
still on the books as far as I know, but there's been no firm delivery date announced.
I'm sorry, this is Boeing.
Yeah,
Can you guys come up and talk to us? You know how that works. That's why that stopped. I'm pretty sure that's why that stopped. But Boeing made a deal with them because they're getting a bunch.
product,
Huh?
right? They don't really have a product. The 777X is a little too large,
Well, they're using the
and
787s.
those are not as large as the 777s,
Yeah, but
right?
but they still, dude, they're flying them to Cape Town. So,
Right?
which is where they would have flown the A350 anyway. You
Yeah,
know,
but the 300 ER 777 is much bigger though.
yeah, yeah.
So,
But they're just making they're
but
making
they haven't. Those aircraft are very new in the United fleet, so they'll be around for at least another 20,
yeah.
25 years.
Oh, and don't forget they're getting the supersonics.
Yeah, but those are
Those haven't been built yet.
no, not even certain that they will be feasible.
Yeah, I mean because yeah, and the final thing in the design is going to be so different because they haven't even done
Yeah.
anything with them yet.
But
So
United seems to be on a roll because they just announced an order for this Heart Aerospace, which is a Swedish. We talked about this a few
mhm.
weeks ago. Um, a Swedish company, I think, based out of Gothenburg, that they're going to order about 100 of the 19 seaters that sort of look like sleeker ATRs
Right, right.
with Mesa.
S-
So they're on a roll right now, United, I think.
Exactly. Um,
So
so where are they getting um where are they getting the what you call it from? The money from?
I guess they're going to raise capital.
Well, how does the airline raise capital? And what's that?
Issue more shares.
So it was interesting. And I was looking at airfares
But they
between.
probably got a great rate, right?
Oh yeah, I'm
From
sure they
Boeing,
did.
because this is a huge boost to the MAX program.
Oh yeah,
They,
I
they
mean,
probably got a great deal from Boeing.
but the money got to come from somewhere. Well,
Yeah,
they're a public company, so we'll see it whenever they file whatever those
yeah.
commercial papers they file. Um, but the airfares are ridiculously expensive. And I guess people don't care.
Hmm.
They haven't flown. They're taking their 2020 budget and blowing it in 1 month in 2021.
Get your goat. But did you hear? I think I read it today, in fact, that they're quietly removing the electrostatic spraying disinfection of the aircraft,
Mm,
um, effective immediately. And they're also changing their disembarkation process. Until now, it's been 5 rows at a time.
yeah.
Get off the plane. That's being abandoned because
Why? So this is my thing, right? It's like, why? Where
because this makes sense. 5 rows at a time makes
yeah,
complete sense.
I mean, we still have a pandemic. It's not like the pandemic goes, "Ooh, we're done." It's we still have a pandemic, and this is my thing, right? It's like I was telling you, I went to the grocery store, and the carts were dirty. They're not cleaning them again. So you would think that some of these procedures would carry forward where they would think of how they can clean. Because like at the HEB that
Cost money, right?
but,
Everything,
yeah, but Kushro, the airfares have gone up,
right?
and when you go to the grocery store, the price of the items have gone up, and they're not coming down. They're
Say
constantly.
they will, but they're not.
They're not coming down because I've looked at it and I'm spending more at the grocery store, and I'm sure you and everybody else are, and the airfares are more. So all these companies are now saying, oh yeah, it's because of COVID. Well, the government also gave you money to keep running. So it's it's sad. It's sad that they're taking advantage of the consumers and not like
Is this a
using.
surprise though?
I guess it shouldn't. I guess it's not really, but it's still it's still bizarre. And for you to say, "Oh, I'm not going to clean the planes anymore as I used to." What? Clean the damn planes. I
I
mean,
think the cleanliness, the actual physical cleaning, but will still continue, of course, just like it used to. But
but it wasn't
the
good before.
disinfection.
It wasn't good before
But
though.
we put up with it, right? No one really
Well,
complained.
because we the fact that we put up with it didn't mean it was right. I was on planes where they had to delay the planes because it wasn't cleaned properly. I was on planes where I'm getting off of the plane and I'm stumbling over the cleaners because they're
Yeah.
trying to clean the plane before I get off. And I'd go to the flight attendant and said, "Could you just give me a chance to get off the plane?" And she's like, "Well, that's what they've told us at corporate, that we have to clean the plane. As soon as first class is empty, we got to clean the planes." And all the airlines did this, so it's I'm
Quicker
sad.
turnarounds, more and more efficiency.
Yeah, but I'm the person who's always defending the airlines. I'm that guy. When somebody comes online and goes, "The darn airlines lost my bag," I'm like, "Can you tell me what happened?" And they're like, "You're always taking up for the airlines." So it's not, but at some point, I understand what these customers are saying, and the airlines, they got to do better, Kusha. They have to do better. All right. Are you done with that story?
Yes.
Kusha's like, he's off on a tangent again. All right. Well, I mean, it's good that they're revitalizing the fleet. Um, I'm just annoyed at all the back end stuff, and I'm annoyed because I used to work for United, and I've seen them come from having in seat back videos to no seat back videos to seat back videos again. All of a sudden, it's good, and it's like, well, could you just have left them in the first place? And I get it, right? I understand that things evolve. So,
Yeah.
but anyway,
But they're going
and
to have to adjust the seat backs though for these to insert these videos because a lot of the new planes,
um,
have these new seats that
they do, but there's a hole in it. The hole is still there. So if you
is
look
there?
at, yeah, if you look at them, the recessed area is still there.
No, I
So
know the recessed area. I know
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
the recessed area is still there, so they can just plop in whatever new thingy they have in there. But of course, it's going to cost money to do that.
And weight, right?
Oh, we don't care
So
about the weight anymore.
yeah.
Because 65% of the people says, just kidding. Well, they're taking out the magazines, right? So they're
Well, I don't know about that anymore
oh, they'll take those
bec-
out.
because those are back, but it's a profit center, right?
Yeah.
At least United.
Well, now they just put the ads on the screens, which is probably one of the reasons why they put in the screens back, right? Because they're like, oh yeah, we can still put ads on it. Because every time, one of the annoying things about these airplanes is when you're watching a movie, and so you started watching a movie, like, oh, I don't like that movie. Well,
And you have to see the same ads over
I know you saw the
again.
same ad. It's like,
Yes.
I
Yes.
just saw that ad. You are not gonna make me buy the thing again if you show it to me again.
Yes.
So there should be something that says, if Kerwin has seen this ad before, don't show it to me again. I don't want to say another, oh, it's Marriott. I'm like, yes, you just told me that 2 seconds ago and I didn't watch that last movie.
You're right about that. That has been a pet peeve of mine as well.
I know, it's so annoying. It's like, really, I know I can't go anywhere, but
I'm so relieved I'm not the only one
no.
who feels that way.
Hey, Kusha, we should do an episode about the things about the industry that annoys us the most. And since
Well, we
you,
shouldn't really say annoys, right? These are first world problems, as they say.
well, it's still annoying. It's like, couldn't you have
How
fixed
fragile are we?
well, yeah, but it's we're industry experts, right? So we understand why it's like when my friend was asking about the wheelchair, right? um I understand where he's coming from, but I also understand where the airline is coming from. And
Yeah.
I also understand how much of an effort it'll take for them to make what he wants a reality. His request is very valid. Um,
And you
but
talked about this yesterday, actually, in episode 83, right?
83, yes.
Yeah.
But we know how the airline works. So it'll be something like that, right? Where we can look at things that the airlines do and go, okay, that is the dumbest thing ever. But then we can explain why it's the dumbest thing ever. So we should do that.
Yes.
We should think about that. All right. The next story is, this is going to be a long episode, Krisha. um, we talked about wasn't Swiss. Well, a lot of airlines, they normally have economy, business class, and first class. And then there was this, oh, we don't need a first class anymore. And so some created a hybrid of business and first. And then some, like Qatar Airlines, have business class, but the product they have is like a first class product. And then you have like Emirates that have first class, and Air France that have first class, and all that. And then in economy, everybody wants a little more leg room. Nobody wants to pay for it, but everybody wants a little more. So then they created these premium economies, or what was the other one that Eva had? Royal Laurel class or something like that. Well, although that's first class. But anyway, I'm saying that because
It
what's
was
that?
it was brilliant market segmentation, though, I think.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely. Yeah, it's quite funny. I was just thinking how we just had this class thing everywhere we go, even on an airplane. So now, and the US carriers just installed premium economies on their planes now. I think everybody has one now, right?
United was the leader, actually, to develop Economy Plus, which
Yes,
really,
but that wasn't premium economy though.
no, it wasn't. But it
Right.
was the precursor to that.
Yes, yes. And then everybody had to be competitive. And then I think American did premium economy and Delta did premium economy, or might have been vice versa. And then United did theirs.
International carriers have followed suit, though.
Yes. And so Swiss, what are they doing?
So they are one of the last Lufthansa Group airlines to institute this. And they recently introduced their premium economy class. What I found, this is going to start officially in April next year, 2022. From what I read in the article, they are only going to put this on their 12 777-300 ERs. So they're not going to have them installed as of now on their 330s and their 340s, which I found a little odd, but maybe they're getting rid of the 330s and 340s soon.
Yeah.
So this, like its other Lufthansa stablemates, has a fixed back shell. So you keep the space, you don't intrude on the passenger behind you when you recline your seat. You have three choices of in-flight cuisine. You
Yeah.
get a double bag allowance, priority boarding, and bookable from June 28th, so a few weeks ago. They expect the first aircraft to come in line in the fourth quarter of this year,
Okay.
but it's not going to be officially on sale until early next year. The one-way fare on average for this new cabin is going to be between 250 and 350 Swiss francs, which is about 270 to 380 US dollars, more than the equivalent economy seat. And there's only going to be 24 of these premium economy seats on the 777-300 ERs. But what I found very interesting
Huh.
is that on most other airlines, this premium economy is in a separate
Right.
section of the aircraft cabin.
Uh-huh.
Over here, it's mixed in with economy. Now, I don't know it's because of the configuration of the aircraft or not, but essentially, these are 3 rows of 8 at the head of the economy cabin on the Swiss aircraft. It's going to be wider than the economy seat by 2 inches.
Okay.
So it's not a lot, actually. It's about 5 centimeters. And as I said, 8 abreast versus 10 in economy. The seat pitch is 38 inches, so about a meter, with a folded leg rest that I don't like at all, and this increased recline.
Okay.
You're going to get an amenity kit. You're going to get noise canceling headphones, and you're going to get a 15, almost 16-inch or 40 centimeter TV screen
Right.
with a personal reading lamp and USB charging. So nothing spectacular, but it's the minimum now that is required.
Hmm.
You're also going to get an elderberry welcome drink on boarding. And as I said, 3 hot meal choices that are going to be served on China. So no aluminum or plastic serving dishes.
And they have no separation between
No,
that
they do
and
not.
economy?
No, do they not? And they're going to include a vegetarian option. It's going to be available to just a few select destinations, and they are Bangkok, Hong Kong, Los Angeles, Miami, San Francisco, Sao Paulo, and Singapore. Um,
Hmm. No New York?
they No New York. But see, they fly the 330 to New York,
Oh, so it's just by aircraft type. I guess
which
eventually.
is very odd, though. I
Yeah,
think
eventually.
very odd.
Huh. Hmm.
There will be upgrade options for a fee, of course, subject to availability.
Hmm.
So, because Emirates also has joined the bandwagon, and they've
Yes.
also introduced premium economy,
Yeah.
and I'm sure the others, the Middle East competitors, will start
So is
doing
it
the same.
242 for 3 rows?
Yes, yes.
Hmm. I always hate when they do 242. So, but it's normally 333 on the 777, right?
No, it's normally 242.
On their triple. No, 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 no. I mean, in economy.
Yes, it's 343.
Oh, it's three. Weird.
No, not really.
No, no. What I'm thinking, if you have 343 in their normal economy 777s, right?
The aisle has to change.
Yeah, and then you have 242.
Right.
Yeah, so it's weird. I'd have to. I hope we could. Well, yeah. Okay.
So,
There's a lot of smart people. I used to work very closely with the aircraft interiors guy, the
yes.
engineer. Yeah, and so we'd always go through all this stuff. I had nothing to do with that.
Interesting.
Huh?
Dealing with all these
Yeah,
situations, very
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. I had nothing to do with all the configuration. I just got whatever he gave me, but then I would always be interested in how they came up with this. They have a whole bunch of things that matches that.
Yeah, yeah.
Every time I hear a configuration, I'm like, well, what about the aisle? Well, that doesn't work. So where's this? And so I'm always like, it's
Yeah.
fine.
But this brings up the new JetBlue configuration that they're serving London with.
Mm-hmm.
And I read an article yesterday, in fact, that these new 321 LRs that they're using for London Heathrow, for London service,
Yeah.
the business cabin, the Mint suites,
Yeah.
go all the way to the wing of the aircraft,
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
which is pretty far down the plane.
Yeah. It's
So
a
you have to
structural
walk
thing, right?
down this almost like a tunnel, right? If you're using the standard
Wait, you just froze.
boarding doors
Yeah.
for a 321, um, because they're individual suites, like they have these. Each one has its own, like a little walled off section down this little corridor almost before you get to the economy section.
So they'll use the double jetway thing.
Will they though?
Um,
Which airports
has
sustain
the
that?
double jetway, the big. I mean, you can get them in Heathrow. I don't know if the
Yeah,
321 can fit though. But
right.
then, what they'll probably do is just board through the middle instead of boarding through the front,
Maybe
because
like they
it
do the 757s.
exactly. So they're just
Mm.
because it makes sense. You don't want the entire
But
passenger
see, I
load.
don't think there's a door though on the 321 that
Um,
is
that's big enough.
so close to the wing. You will have to go through some part of the mint, the premium economy, the
Yeah,
premium section.
I
But anyway, we're getting hopelessly sidetracked.
a hopeless sidetrack is good though, Gusha. I think there's a door. I think there's a door right before the wing. I've never used it because I've always disembarked in the 321 or embarked from the front door, L1 or whatever they call it, right?
Rear door.
Yeah,
So,
I've never done a rear door 321. I've done the
so
320 and the 319, but I haven't done the rear door in
mm,
that one. Because I
so
all as an airline geek, I always want to go to the rear door if I can.
different, unique perspective.
Yep, and especially like when I flew Virgin Atlantic out of Antigua, um, I got to disembark on a 747 through the rear, which is rare. And even when they had the L1011, BWI L1011, um, it was just cool to see this big airplane on the tarmac and like all the stairs and everything, the three sets of stairs on the left side coming down. Sorry, those
So,
are gone for sure. Well, cool. I mean, hopefully people will pay for it.
oh, I'm sure they will, right?
Well, yeah, but with business travel not gonna be picking up for a
Back, yeah.
while. Um, I don't know how
But
they.
most of these occupants are really economy passengers who decide to treat themselves.
Well, no, people don't want to pay,
So,
but I'm
yeah,
sure they've done it. They want the space. There's no question about it.
they just don't want to pay for
They
it.
just don't want to pay for it. And they'll be the first to moan about it, but they don't want to pay for it.
So,
It's like, don't recline your seat. Well, okay, we'll go sit in the premium economy. All right, good deal. So I'm sure. Who else? Huh. So do you think Norwegian is ever gonna come back?
long haul?
Yeah.
Yeah, but remember now they've got Norse Atlantic Airways,
Yeah.
right? It's going to take over this year.
Kusha, let's just start an airline because these billionaires have so much money.
Yep.
It's like really.
And
All
the
we
fact
just
is,
come-
they can get it though. They
yeah,
can get funding.
we just have to come up with a concept and they'll fund it because they have the money. And then it's a tax write off for them. And
Yep.
partly they don't really care because all the airlines that they back lose money. So I don't I don't understand.
So,
All right. Next story we have. Cathay Pacific has its issues.
big
They
issues. Big,
issues.
big issues.
But they're always like doing these new types of airlines and always that rebranding and doing this and spending all kinds of money and then SARS hit and COVID hit and then they get hit and they just don't learn. What are they doing again?
But wait. Let's back up here. Cathay Pacific has been in a very tough spot for a very long time. First of
They
all, they're
have,
based in Hong Kong.
yes,
And
and
then
they're
they
having
had the
issues
pro
with that.
democracy issues in the
Yes.
city. They had all sorts of demonstrations and riots and lockdowns and things like that. Then came COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So traffic on Cathay has been hit for a very long time. In
Yeah,
fact, before COVID even began. So
agreed.
they are really, really struggling. And they're being pushed from the top and from the bottom, from airlines like Scoot and let's say Emirates.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But then they've created some other airlines in there too, and they bought airlines in there too.
well,
Well, yes, they did.
they've had no choice,
They
right?
created
Yeah,
Cathay Dragon that they took
they
from
created
Ryanair.
Cathay Dragon, but that's gone.
Right, that's gone.
But now they have Hong Kong Airlines, right, which is their low cost.
Right.
equivalent. But anyway, their traffic is what is the number? In They are currently flying 8% of their usual passenger capacity. 8%.
Which makes sense because no one's going to Asia.
Right. And they expect substantial financial losses for their third consecutive half year financial disclosures.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to do something.
Like
And
spending money on
given,
a new brand.
well, that was probably the cheapest alternative, right? Because they've looked at the success of Air Asia, which itself is being battered because Air Asia X, the very survival of that brand, is at stake.
Mm-hmm.
So and they were so successful until the pandemic hit.
Cheap
So
fares.
what Air Asia has done is they've gone into the air taxi and drone delivery um, business to try and drum up revenue and diversify away from exclusive airline operation.
Yeah.
Then Singapore Airlines has gone into the restaurant business, if you will. So Cathay had to do something. So what they've done is to create what is called a lifestyle brand called Cathay. I think it's going to be a little confusing, but what do I know? So here's what they're going to do. According to the Cathay Pacific, this is according to Reuters, sorry.
Uh-huh.
They're going to bring together the Cathay Pacific brand, the Marco Polo Club, which is their loyalty program, and
Right.
Asia Miles, which is their rewards program, to simplify the way customers interact with the Cathay Pacific brand, including how they earn status and use miles. Um, Cathay has stated, and again, this sounds like a lot of marketing gobbledygook, they're going to try and strengthen the interaction with the airline to simplify our customer relations and the way customers earn and spend miles. Um, this is part of their Move Beyond program. So to diversify away from airline revenue, and they want to develop this premium travel lifestyle brand. Now, I can tell you that the Asians are huge on brands,
Yes.
especially the high status brands.
Yes.
So
That's
I
why
don't
Cathay have
think
done so well
Cathay
in the
is
past.
right. I don't think Cathay is way off the mark, but I found it confusing. Um, so what they're going to do is they're going to brand a separate Cathay. Uh, I guess create a new company called Cathay. They're going to allow users to purchase services and goods through this airline and through the brand Cathay. Um, and then they're going to issue a credit card. Now, we know that companies make a lot of money through credit card purchases.
They do.
Initially, it's going to be only based in Hong Kong and available to Hong Kong residents only, but gradually they're going to expand this worldwide. They haven't really provided too many details, but I guess time will tell as to how successful this is going to be. But I think including the Cathay name in this, together with Cathay Pacific, is going to cause a little bit of customer confusion.
Yeah,
Am I
because
booking?
everybody calls Cathay Pacific Cathay.
Right.
So what routes is this new? So it's going to be a new airline, right?
No, it's not going to be a new airline. It's going to be a lifestyle brand. So it's going to be, I tried to think of what was equivalent, and I really couldn't think of it
Can't think of
anything.
anything.
Um, so it's like um, a purchasing um, company within an airline.
It's like Air Canada and Aeroplan because that's kind
Well,
of what
see,
Aeroplan does.
that's no different from Mileage Plus, though, on United.
Well,
Sky
you're right.
Miles from
Yeah.
Delta.
So which is why I'm
This,
like, I didn't. That's why I don't understand what are they trying. I guess they're trying to spin off the the credit card part and the mileage thing, like all the
That
other
could be,
airlines
yes,
have done. Yes,
yes, and raise some revenue from
and
that.
raise
Yeah.
revenue from that, and they've
Even though they
all been.
haven't specifically stated that.
Yeah, but that's what they're
They
doing. Because
essentially,
when you talk about the lounge and all that, which is really what Aeroplan is. I mean, that's what Air Canada
yes,
did with Aeroplan.
yeah.
Um,
Another thing that I found confusing is why does Cathay have Asia Miles and the Marco Polo Club?
oh, dude, that always confused me. It always confused me, and I'm glad that they're putting everything in one and just have
So
one name. So I guess that name is Cathay.
yes.
Have you
So are they
signed up
going to get
to?
rid? But
Have you
Marco
signed up
Polo
to
Club,
Cathay?
Marco
Are you-
Polo Club has, I mean, a lot of brand name recognition, right? So does Asia
Exactly.
Miles.
It does. Um,
So
but but I guess because Air Canada, it was, what was it called before? It was called something else. Uh,
I don't
oh, I can't
remember.
remember. It wasn't always Aeroplan. Or there was another name, and I always got confused with the two of them. And I think now they've put everything in one, and it's working. So I think maybe somebody from Air Canada went to Cathay and did that.
Yeah.
You know how that works.
So let's see how far this goes.
um,
Doesn't seem to be an end point for Cathay's traffic recovery.
it's going to be a long while.
Yep. But can
Because
they sustain it though?
well, yeah, they'll keep throwing money in it because they're very proud of the brand, and it is a
It
very
is
good
a
brand.
it is a brilliant brand
It's
though.
a very good brand. I mean, I've always had
So
really good service when I've flown them.
yep.
Um, but don't confuse us, please. Don't confuse us. We're already confused as is. You know, customers
So
get confused just buying a ticket. I mean, you think code share is confusing? I mean, they don't even know the difference between nonstop and a direct flight. So, well, good luck to Kathy. I'm sure they'll give us more information about it
well they
as
better do
we,
so quickly
huh?
because this thing is rolling out fairly soon.
Yeah. Well, they probably realize that they have to do something, so they're trying to get because the mileage programs do make a lot of money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it makes sense what they're doing
So
because they've been through so much.
yeah.
Um, and they still continue to be through. I want to go to Hong Kong, but between the protest and
Well there's no
COVID,
more protests though.
are they done
China's
with that?
cracked down.
Well,
Well,
for now, but that will flare its ugly head every now and again. And so I'm glad I've been to Hong Kong. But Hong Kong is such a great city though, you know what I mean? It's like I really want to go back and just enjoy it again. So, yeah, geez. Aviation always has there's so many intertwined things in it, right? I think
but
we
all
just
the airlines in that area of the world are in trouble. There's Malaysia, there's Thai, there's AirAsia,
yep,
there's Singapore, there's Hong
yep.
Kong, there's
Oh, so
Cathay
that was the
Pacific,
thing. When I was
Garuda.
Yep, they're all well because most of their traffic comes here, right? So it's people there coming here.
Really? No.
Well, well, I should say like within China, there's a lot of intra-China traffic. There's no question about that. But a lot,
But Southeast Asian countries need international traffic.
well, they knew,
China has a huge domestic
yeah.
market.
But there's a lot of traffic that comes from the U.S. to those areas because there's a lot of the Asian
Yeah,
community that live in the United States or live in Europe or live in Australia, and
yeah.
they
Not
can't
not so
really,
much. I would think for Thai and Malaysia because I think they count on Europe.
yeah. But nobody can go there from Europe,
Yes, exactly.
so
So, but
they're
Cathay has been hit by the domestic political situation that
yeah,
the others have not been affected
yeah,
by.
because there is no domestic Cathay.
Right.
Right, it's like everybody. That's why they call it Cathay Pacific, because oh, Kusher, it's crazy. Oh, and the noise have started again. Can you hear the
So,
noise?
no, I cannot.
All right. Well, we have one more story in this category. Um, Vaccine tourism. Um, So just to get an idea what vaccine tourism is, it's where people basically go to another country to get a vaccine. Like here in the US, we as a country are basically throwing vaccines away. And so in New York, they're actually, if you can get to New York, they'll give you a vaccine, no questions asked.
Get
Uh,
to anywhere in the US, they'll give you a vaccine.
exactly, because you need to use it in an apartment. Most places you go in, you just tell them I'm here for a vaccine, and they hook you up, right away, because they really want everybody to get vaccinated. And it's not just the U.S. getting vaccinated. It's kind of a worldwide thing. Um,
Yep. They even have it at airports. The other day I was in Pittsburgh and someone said, "Would you like a vaccine, sir? Have you had one?" It's just like, given what the situation was a few months ago, that's unbelievable.
it's unbelievable. Yeah, yeah.
How far we've come.
We've come a far way, and I wish we could figure out a way to actually get the surplus vaccine that's here
I
in the
know.
US where it needs to go before it
Yep.
expires. But I know that it's politics one, and it's also logistics
Logistics.
to get it all
Yep.
to work. But
So
some countries, like I think Serbia was doing the vaccine thing, but I think they stopped it during the vaccine tourism. But Kusha, what's going on with China Airlines and Eva? Huh?
Serbia is still doing it.
They're still doing it. Okay.
Yeah. In fact, they're offering four choices, which is pretty remarkable for it's not a large country, but Serbia of all countries.
Well, I
But
think what they were saying was that they wanted to, like, they were encouraging the surrounding countries, because they all used to be one country, right? And so they're surrounding they're trying to get the surrounding countries vaccinated, because everybody moves together. And if that does, if only Serbia is good, and all the Macedonians, the Croatians, and all the other countries around them and stuff, what's the point, right? It's like, I can't live in my bubble, so you might as well get people in the surrounding countries vaccinated, which is what people on this side don't get. It's like, yes, you want to go to Jamaica, but if they're not vaccinated, the cruise ship ain't gonna stop there, which is why the cruise ships now. And before I'm just excited about this. I'll tell you. One of my friends is doing a cruise right now,
huh,
and
huh.
she had to go to St. Martin, because
Huh.
now St. Martin is the place to do cruises, since Florida is having issues. So the cruise ships are repositioning in St. Martin, and you have to fly down to St. Martin, huh?
Long way to go.
Yeah, well, but that's the only way they can do their cruises, because St. Martin is allowing it. And of course, St. Martin can only have so many ships, right? So she went on Windstar cruises, and they flew out of crew is 100% vaccinated, and
Hmm.
every passenger has to be vaccinated. So she had to do a vaccination to get to St. Martin. I mean, not a vaccination, test. And then she have to do a test again when she gets to St. Martin before she gets on the ship, and she has to be vaccinated.
Good.
They're taking zero chances.
Good.
Um, and the crew is they're using a half 50% of the ship.
That's yeah.
And they have buffets, but you can't serve yourself.
Okay.
And they only have and she said it's funny, they keep changing where you're gonna go. They're like, oh, we're gonna stop. Nope, we're not stopping there anymore. We're gonna stop here. Oh, we're gonna stop here. So it's kind of funny following her Instagram. Um, so that's what's going to happen. And the reason why they're changing it is because they're looking at the vaccination rates for these islands. And of course, you don't want somebody to get off the ship, because if you're vaccinated, it doesn't mean you can't contract COVID. And so they don't want somebody to get off the ship, contract COVID, come back on the ship, and infect people. They
Right.
don't want that.
I'm wondering how they manage shore excursions on cruises.
It's tightly controlled. So
How though? How?
she showed me the tickets that they have. I think you
Huh.
can only go on show excursions that are arranged by the ship. And my guess is that what the ship would do is they would arrange with locals who are vaccinated. So the people who are driving the vans and stuff like that
Okay.
must all be vaccinated
But
and
when you
all that.
go to, I don't know, let's say you're going to Lisbon and you go to the central section, the central area, the old town area, there's going to be other people around, right?
Yes, but I think what they're doing with these excursions is they are controlling them. I don't know. They don't have any. Two of my friends are actually on cruises, and I'll kind of ask them to get more details on that. One is doing a cruise, but this one is actually a cruise to nowhere.
Okay.
It's leaving out of Southampton and going out to the ocean and coming back like a few days or something. But the one in the Windstar one in the Caribbean is actually stopping in places. So I'll ask Sarah. She's Jet Set Sarah on Instagram, and if she can say how they're actually, because yeah, I'm very well. Galveston just did one. I think it was Carnival.
Yes.
They just did one,
Yeah.
and there's no reports that anybody got sick. So
I
that's
know. Or where it went also. I don't know.
yeah.
But again, it was at, I think, 70% capacity,
Hmm.
which is pretty high.
Yeah, that's very high. And you know,
Right.
with cruise ship, it's like there are people everywhere. You've done cruises, so you know.
So,
But anyway, we were talking about China and EVA Airlines tourism passports.
Taiwan, as if you have been listening to this podcast over the last year, they were one of the most creative of countries. I think the most creative, in that they started the flights to nowhere craze that was so popular last year. And they seem to have done it again. They have started uh, what is called vaccine tourism. As you said, it's getting people on board flights to go overseas, get vaccinated, and then come back. This was an article that was unfortunately not very well written,
Mm.
but um, this all this information is from the Taiwan Ministry of Transportation and Commerce. They stated that the average daily passenger count on flights from Taipei to the US was 361 in May. Now, they didn't say how many flights there were between Taiwan and the US, because China Airlines and EVA fly to numerous cities in the US. But the point to remember is that that number has increased to 686, so a little less than half in June. They have found, Taiwanese airlines have determined that flight demand to the US, Canada, and Shanghai, of all places, has risen as Taiwanese travel agents have been advertising vaccine packages like these are actual names: the Pfizer 30-day package and the Johnson and Johnson 8-day package. For example, the Johnson and Johnson package costs 10,700 US dollars. Now remember, this is a double dose vaccine that needs 21 days between jabs. So it includes their flights to Los
Wait.
Angeles.
Hold on, Kusho. Johnson Johnson's only one dose.
Johnson Johnson is only one dose,
Right.
which is why it's on an 8-day package. But the Pfizer is the 30-day package. So that requires two. Um, includes the flights to Los Angeles, 5-star hotel accommodation, transportation between the airport and the hotel with a Mandarin speaking tour guide, and of course, your 2 vaccinations with a PCR test as well, which is required to come back.
So wait. Hold on, Kusho. Hold on. Let me just understand what you just said. So I pay how much money?
$10,700 for 30 days,
US dollars.
US dollars.
And I get on a flight and I fly to LA.
Right.
And I'm going to be in LA for and so this is a flight where nobody on the flight is vaccinated.
Well, you don't know that, but chances, well, I'm getting to that.
More than likely nobody's vaccinated, right? Because that's the whole purpose of you coming to the US to get vaccinated.
So they've thought of that, and they have started offering a 40% discount on the purchase of an additional seat. So you can have at least a little bit of a gap between you and the next person.
Well, granted, we used
On
to
the
fly around with
aircraft.
non-vaccinated people anyway, right? So
Right.
it's not a thing.
Right. Yes. What the government believes is that rich Taiwanese, and you'd have to be rich to afford this, are going to take their kids to the US to be vaccinated. And also, the school year is coming up. So Taiwanese students are going to be traveling to the US to start school in the fall.
Dude, can't they just figure out a way to bring the vaccine from the US?
Well, funny you should say that, because again, yesterday I was reading that the two biggest semiconductor companies, which is Foxconn and something else, which is
Uh-huh.
an acronym, they've agreed to buy, I think, 1 or 2 million Pfizer doses, which
Yeah,
is,
just do that. I mean, $10,000 to come for a 30-day vacation.
but clearly it's working, right?
Well, of course,
Clearly it's working.
people are grasping at straws, Kusho. But how about just think of it differently and bring the vaccination to the people?
The Taiwanese carriers are expected to make a profit in 2021 thanks to their creativity and also their cargo business. So
Well,
leave
yeah.
it to the Taiwanese, I say.
Well, I mean, we get a lot of stuff that's made in Taiwan.
Right.
So
Not as much as China.
it
It
used to.
used to be.
Yeah, yeah. Matter of fact, when I was much younger, I used to hang out with these, kids, and one of the girls, she got a doll,
Huh.
and she called the doll, she called the doll Taiwan, because kids that couldn't talk properly, and I was like, and the reason why she called them Taiwan was because it said made in Taiwan on the thing, right? It's like this is way before Back to the Future, where the girl called Michael J. Fox Calvin because he was in his Calvin Klein underwear. But anyway, carry on.
A very unique situation that both EVA and China Airlines have increased their frequency of flights to the US for most of July. They've added frequencies and then they're going to cut back. So clearly there's a market for this.
Oh God, yes. I mean, when rich people want to do it and they can't, and clearly there are rich people in Taiwan, otherwise EVA Air and China Airlines would not be surviving. So
Yes.
are these economy class fares at $10,000?
That's a good, yes, yes, they are. Yes, they are.
How much is business?
I know, really.
But when you think about it, Krishna, so they're
You
coming
have to ask, you cannot afford it.
exactly. But if you're coming to the US for a month, right?
Yeah,
And you
essentially.
figure the hotel is about 150 a night.
I'm sure they got a deal, a corporate
Yeah.
rate, right?
Yeah, they got, but even $100 a night, that's $3,000 right there. So the airfare EVA is probably about, what's it like? About $3,000
Yeah,
across
maybe.
the Atlantic, Pacific, sorry. So, and the rest is like food and the
No,
vaccine.
food is on you, right?
Well, yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean, and you're in the now. Who the heck can come from Taiwan to the U.S. for a month?
Yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Apparently all these people who are flying, right? And what's interesting that it's an economic boost to the LA. Is it Los Angeles and San Francisco? I guess they're doing.
And Vancouver and Ontario.
Yeah. So and how are they going to Canada? I thought Canada was closed.
I thought so too. But remember, Canada is taking a lot of Taiwanese students.
Ah, I wonder if
So
they're doing an exception or.
God knows.
And Canada doesn't have a lot of vaccine because
I know.
some of
You're
my
right.
friends are just getting vaccine. Like they just got their first, a few of them because they're all online. They
Yeah.
just got their second shot like this week. And
Okay.
some are just getting their first shot, so they don't have a lot of vaccine.
Because I saw the EVA, the 777 in Houston last week.
Yeah.
But they're still flying here.
And is China still coming?
China who?
Airlines. Oh, they stopped, right?
They stopped years and
They
years
stopped a long
ago.
time
Remember
ago.
they used to go via
Yeah.
Seattle.
So is Eva going? Well, the cargo probably still comes in, but is Eva still going down to? No, it was Air China.
Air China.
It was Air China that was going
No, they haven't
Panama.
resumed.
To Panama. Yeah. Um, that's one of the things too. Is that a lot of these what do we call them? Fifth freedoms have just
Yeah.
disappeared because of COVID,
Yep.
and a lot of the tags have also disappeared because of COVID. Um,
So
wow. Oh, geez. Okay. Dude, when you have money, you can just do pretty much whatever.
that's right. That was discovered last weekend.
What's that?
If you have money, you can go to space.
That's right. However, though, you can enter the sweepstake, Krisha.
Yeah.
And it's free for two lucky people.
Oh, it is. There's a sweepstake. Oh, I thought
Yeah,
you meant like a lottery ticket.
yeah. It's like it's a sweepstake. He's doing a sweepstake because his goal is to make it affordable to regular people. So
Okay.
my
What
guess
is
is
his
that
definition of regular people?
you and I,
Yeah, right.
people who can't afford it, the tickets are $250,000. At least it was $250,000. They're gonna go up
Before they come down.
before. Yeah, they're never gonna come down. Well, okay, Doug, okay, you're a good one, Kusha. Um, but I guess the module that they went up in was only what, four of them I think was in it. Is that right?
But
So
there was space, though. From what I could see in the
oh,
pictures,
there's
there
a
was
lot of space. Yeah,
on
and they
that
were
little
showing
thing.
some of the test flights that the lady were doing, and it had all the equipment and stuff inside of it, and of course it looked really chuckered. But when they showed the other one, it was beautiful. There's only like four seats. I assume they'll have, I don't know, maybe I don't know, 10 people, 16 people. I don't know.
You can't have too many, right? Because when you're weightless and floating around, you don't want to be bumping into people.
Exactly. And you only have 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 minutes. Although,
Less than that, right?
yeah, although when they went up, it's like basically they hit, was it 250,000 feet? Uh,
Something like that.
I think is what they hit. And then as soon as they hit that, it just started coming down.
Yeah.
And they were coming down really fast. If you guys get a chance, go to Virgin Galactic and watch it. It is amazing, for one, for using a word that is overused, but it was just very cool to see the success, and I've been following it from the beginning, and it was good to see them go up there and they came back safely, because that was a key, especially since they had an accident a few months ago and you didn't hear
Years ago.
anything about it for a while, right?
Mm.
And they fixed everything and they're like, we're going, and they went and it was safe. So that was it was very spectacular. I think you guys should watch it if you haven't already done so. um
So,
but yeah, and I have met Branson before, and I've seen him at conferences and stuff like that. So it was exhilarating, and he's just like that all the time. He's aged a lot since I met him in 1994 when I took my first flight on, was in Virgin Atlantic, was co-chair with Delta, because
okay.
they had a co-chair with Delta long before they did with United, and then they dropped United,
Well,
and then they're back with
Continental, right? They never had it. I don't
Continental.
think they had it with United.
That's right. They didn't win United. It was Continental, but they did that before with United. And Ron Allen was the CEO at the time, and
Okay.
he came down and he shook everybody's hand. He's very stoic in his jacket and stuff, suit and all that. And Richard Branson came down. He was bouncing around in his cardigan. He was shaking everybody's hand. So that was kind of cool, and he was a very personable guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so it was very exciting to see him do that, and the fact that he had two women was on the flight, and one was a minority woman. So I was very excited about that. Yeah.
So,
So good.
so
Um,
I'm guessing we're not continuing the other sections.
no, because an episode will be really long. Because the
Okay.
other stuff is gonna take an hour. So yeah, I think we've been, yeah, this has probably been an hour so far.
It's been an hour, more than an hour.
More than an hour, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so let's call this one. All right. So thank you guys again for listening to our babble about aviation, what's happening in travel. And as you can see, there's a lot happening in travel. It's exciting to see the industry rebounding and seeing what people are doing. I'm still concerned about all the people that got laid off, because there's still a lot of people who got laid off and furloughed, and they're slowly coming back and blah 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 blah. So, and some people are just not coming back because they just took packages and things like that. So that's the other side of the industry that nobody really hears about, which is why. Oh, and one thing to the industry, there's a pilot shortage. There was going to be a pilot shortage anyway, and COVID did not help. um, and so, if you are a budding young person sitting out there, consider becoming a pilot. A lot of the airlines, I know United has a program where they're trying to train pilots, and it's very expensive. I know that. But if you're thinking of a career in aviation, check with the airlines and see what kind of programs they have out there, because we need the young blood to go flying. Most of the U.S. airlines used to get their pilots from the Navy and the Army,
Military, yeah.
from the military, but that they're not getting enough. And so, and we're in the stage where people are aging, and the U.S. have an age 60 rule. There's a whole bunch of things that come in. So when you get to the airport and there's nobody flying this Korean Air A330 behind me, or the national DC-10. Well, we're not flying the DC-10s anymore anyway. Then you understand. As a customer, you don't care. You just want to get on the plane and go. But these are the things that make things don't work for you, that you don't really
Yeah.
think about. So that's all we have. Make sure you go listen to the podcast at. We're on Spotify. We're on Stitcher. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're everywhere. Just search for What's Happening in Travel, or search on my name, Kerwin McKenzie or Kusho Parag, and you'll be able to find us out there. So that's it. We're done. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank
We'll
you.
talk to you. All right.